I flash back to 2003, a cold frosty morning, November 9th. In through the timber walks one of the most incredible specimens I'd ever seen, a deer we called Skyscraper. Double drops, walks in and gives me a shot. I don't think I realized how rare that animal was back then. Well, fast forward some 20 years, 2 decades, and finally there's a story of another double drop time. July, August, September, early October, no pictures. And then all of a sudden, giant, drops her back, 6.5-year-old buck, light up the scoreboard, light up the phone lines. Old deer's back, new plan, new strategy.
Our target, that 6.5-year-old double drop time, just came out.
We're there, he's there. I just need to make the shot. We skip back to fall of 21 or summer 21, and we're doing our summer surveys. And you always wonder what the deer from the previous year might blow into. And man, were we so pleased when we got pictures of this beautiful double drop tine. And we were like, oh my goodness, what a giant. And anytime you see that, it takes your breath away because you just don't see it very often. I killed one in 2003. And then to my recollection, this is the first one I can recall in 2 decades. Pictures of him, and then we start going, who's this deer? Where did he come from? And quickly we realized this probably wasn't an old deer. We estimated him to be 4.5. And then we start thinking, what could he become in future seasons if he's lucky enough to live? And do we start laying a history down with him? How much is he on us? What's his home core? Is he on us early, rut, late? We don't know, but we look forward to filling those chapters in as this season progresses. You know, home range to me is something that's one of the most curious things about the whitetail, and one of the things that I think keeps the chess match ever flowing and ever challenging, because you never know what that deer's home range is. How much is he in your hunting area? I think probably by and large, most of us don't have a large enough area to understand just how far they do range and when they move. Couple that with, I think, a hunter's natural thought process. I got his picture, he's here a lot. And in reality, I think pictures only tell about 1 to 10% of the story because we don't have enough cameras. They're oftentimes good at not walking in front of the camera. So when you get a deer that is fringing on your property and really not part of his home core, it makes it very challenging to try and actually go out and have an encounter with that deer. Pictures are one thing, encounters are another. So when we first laid eyes on this deer in early November, Wade and I were just sitting there in awe at this beautiful animal.
Just never got it right there. Looks like it. Cool, man. Oh yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome, man. How about that for an awesome encounter? I don't know how clear the footage was. I've never seen him before. This is the first time we've ever seen him, but he's a big, big deer. Double drops, a true double drop tine deer. I mean, just so rare. A buck of a lifetime right there. Who knows if he's going to make it to age 5 or 6, but if he does, I can't wait to see what he looks like on our Reconics cameras. I didn't think we'd ever see him, but there he is in living color.
So that was November 7th, and Wade and I, we were like, okay, where is that home range? Where's this deer spending the bulk of his time, both at night and during the day? Well, it was some 2 weeks and 2 days later before we got the answer to that. November 23rd, very important date as this story unfolds, and myself, Austin, Wade, all sitting together on that same particular spot, and man, did we have an encounter for the ages. Just this deer read the script, and it really does help tell the story, but more importantly, it's some of the prettiest video you could possibly imagine of a double drop tine, how rare they are, and man, look at this footage, it's awesome.
I see his rack glistening there. You didn't tell much about him. Oh, it's the double drop. Oh yeah, got it. It's the double drop. as footage goes, that was a 10 weight. Yeah, I was able to see your viewfinder. I mean, that was sick. Walking through all that grass and into the Buck Hotel through it, no doubt. We have another green field off to the east here a little bit. He's no doubt probably going to go check in, but that was an incredible encounter with a gorgeous 4.5-year-old. Like, you don't have to kill a deer to have an amazing set.
Absolutely.
And we just had an amazing set.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was well worth it right there.
Yeah.
All right, now we've had 2 encounters within a little over 2 weeks, and we're like, did he come in November and he's going to stay through the late season? Well, we had a few more pictures and then no more sightings of this giant double drop tine. So the chapters continue to unfold, the story is being told, and in my mind I'm like, what's he going to look like next year and how hard is he going to be to run into? It's one thing to see a deer at age 4.5. It is a far different story when they turn 5.5 and eventually 6.5. They get less and less likely to move during daylight. Well, the story's going to unfold next season. Summer of 22 rolls around and we've got 1 buck on our mind. We can't wait to see what the double drop tine looks like. And no summer pictures. Again, head scratcher in terms of where his home range was. And we're looking for that double drop tine. And it took us several pictures of getting this particular deer before we finally realized this is him. And he put that growth into that frame and some extra kickers, but those drop tines are gone. They're not there this year. We're fairly positive it's the same deer. Coloration of the face, shape of the rack, everything was a dead match. Looked like a 5.5-year-old buck, and the double drop tines were just gone. The season unfolds, a few pictures trickle in, and he's getting harder and harder to take pictures of, nor did we see him at all in the fall of 22. One of the things as we went into fall of 23 I wanted to accomplish was we had this giant new clover field. It's probably close to 3 acres. And I got a lot of pictures there, and this was right in the area that when I did get his pictures, he was generally here more than anywhere else. So I assumed he was bedding in what I call Danger's bedroom. That right above this particular clover field, there's a big thicket, and that's where I killed Danger a few years back. And I was like, when he daylights, he's generally right here. So we're hoping to get his picture. We're hoping the double drops are back, and we're hoping that our plan of carving out a big radish field right next to or within this particular clover field actually works. We had the guys from Nutrient in. They talked about it. They love the overall soil and the way that we actually architected this particular spot. And we knew we were going to need an Omega lift system. There's no trees anywhere close. So we did all this, and we're preparing for the double drop tine, just in case he's there, just in case he has his drops. Well, July, August, September, early October, no pictures, nothing. And then all of a sudden, late October, right where we expected him to show up, giant, drops are back, 6.5-year-old buck, and I mean, light up the scoreboard, light up the phone lines. Myself, Wade, and Perry, we were like, old deer's back, new plan, new strategy. It's been a tough season. This one's gonna get our attention. So now you start planning and you look back at previous year's pictures, previous year's history, and what you discover is exactly what you lived in those 2 seasons. He's not here very often. And when he is, he's oftentimes at night. Even though we encountered him in a different part of the farm, probably a half-mile southwest of there, it's not really part of his home core. I think we got lucky really looking back on it. We wanted to focus in and around this area. So when the wind was right and when I felt like we could go in and try him, we did. Wade and I went into a stand not too far from where we were getting photos of this deer. And we thought, in the back of our mind, maybe he'll show up, maybe he won't. There was another big shooter that we were in there after. And what do you know? Guess who shows up?
We're going south. See him? I think he's going to.
He's going behind us.
Yeah. He's chasing a doe. He's about to the creek crossing.
So he's way over there.
Yeah, right at the creek crossing. Now he's coming back.
I don't see him from my angle.
He's right at the creek crossing.
Like in the woods?
Yeah, now he's coming back this way, running. Running right at us.
Oh, I see him now.
No, there's a doe. Right on the edge. Staring at a doe. They're just standing there. He's not coming this way anymore. Do you see him or no?
see what's him. Well, we just had a crazy encounter. Wade was looking out off to the east and saw one of our targets chasing a doe. So the movement has started. We'll see if they end up coming back through here or not. They started heading right at us, then they turned. Like does always do. You can just about bet if they're heading your way, they're about not to be heading your way. And they ended up heading south.
All right, now we're really pumped because we finally laid eyes on this buck. It was a great encounter, but yet we were still on the outside looking in a little bit. We really need to be over on that clover field where we get the bulk of the pictures, and I need an east wind to do it. We finally get it. And here we go, November 23rd, again, 2023 this time. Darren and I go in, and we're ready to have a good night on this Thanksgiving evening.
All right. The last time we went in a hurry, we killed one out of Missouri. We're gonna go in a hurry, get down to this radish field down here. We got the pressure, we got the wind, we got the weather. It's Thanksgiving. I've always wanted a hot Thanksgiving. We had a heck of a morning. Hopefully we can finish it with a great afternoon. Sorry about the quick entrance, but we were in a hurry because not that we're not pushing the wind here. The wind's great, but the access that we took does push it a touch to one of the bedrooms, so we had to get through there in a hurry. Similar to it's the same wind we hunted and killed a Missouri deer on. It's the north-northeast, and it's similar to that setup. This one is also touchy on the way in, so we're in. We feel good now. The wind is in a pretty good position. There's a big double drop in here and a big 8, so hopefully one of them's bedded close, and we can get a shot off tonight. We're gonna hunt, and then a little before legal, I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna run to that truck, and I'm gonna drive to Des Moines, where Tracy's waiting for me. She was kind enough to say, why don't you go hunting today on Thanksgiving as opposed to spending the day with me? And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And you know, without her and Willa, we just we wouldn't be able to do what we do. They understand us, and they allow us to live our passion, and they forgive the selfishness we have in the timber for whitetail deer and wild turkey. So I'm anxious to have the hunt tonight, and I'm anxious to have a wonderful dinner with my wife. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. First time I've ever hunted it in my life, and I'm excited about that fact in general. It's gonna be a good day. There's a big deer up there. That's a double drop. Come on, buddy. Shaking right now because our target, that 6.5-year-old double Droptine, just came out. He's standing in the grass over there looking at the plot. So I don't know if he's tending a doe over there or if he's just waiting before he comes down in. Hopefully he makes his way this way. Whew, we are nervous. I am anyway. He's almost impossible to see. Yeah, he definitely is tough. I don't even see him now. I don't either. Oh, I do now. He's still in that same spot. I don't think he's bedded down, but there's a possibility. There's a possibility he is, yes. The grass is too tall. He's got to be standing. There he goes. He's moving now. Is he gonna come down, or is he with a doe? I don't see a doe. I bet you she's in the tree. Turn. There we go. There's There's nothing south of us, is there? You know, we're clear. Oh, hit him back. Dadgum, hit him back. Stay on him best you can. I hit him a little back. Oh, sorry about that shot. He was walking and I didn't lead enough. That was a double drop. What a history, what a story. I did not make the best of shots, but I do believe it's a killing shot. I didn't see any blood. I was looking for blood. I didn't see any. He went up into that bedroom. I shot him at about 28, 29. And he was starting to go. And I just did not lead him enough. I should have stopped him, but I didn't want to stop him. And I just hit him a little far back. Nonetheless, I think a killing shot, but it's going to take a while, particularly with these temperatures. That was rough. That was nerve-wracking. That is the double drop, though. All kinds of footage. Darren was burning him down. And then I was ready to shoot. And Darren said, let him get past the scrape tree. Then he turned around. Then I hit the window. And then he was walking to leave. So it went from a perfect shot to a not-so-great opportunity in about 2 seconds.
You've got a deer that we've been watching for some 10, 12 minutes, feeding slowly. We're there, he's there. I just need to make the shot. He gets to 29 yards. I dial up 29. He's calm. This slow deer, this slow walking deer, turns quarters towards us and starts walking. And the panic buttons get pressed from myself, from Darren. And we went from very calm, cool, collected, we're going to take this deer and kill him right there, to the wheels are falling off the bus at this point. And I ended up rushing my shot, and I've still kicked myself over where this arrow lands home, but I had to make an adjustment. Then my arrow hits the window. He hears it, he's on to us, he's starting to leave, and I just rushed my shot a little bit with all of the adrenaline and everything going on, so my apologies. However, I still felt good about the hit. It went through the back of the rib cage. It's a little high, it's a little back, But if you look at it when he runs off and you still frame it, you see where that entry is. Arrow goes all the way through him. I felt like this is 100% a fatal shot.
I think that hit is somewhere there. Game of inches. All right. Did I hit the aortic? I don't think I'm that high. Am I liver, gut? Or am I liver, intestines? Did I catch the back of this lung? It's somewhere right in there. So we're looking at that hit. I think I'm right at the last two ribs. Now we see the arrow out there and it is bright red. So that's a plus. I'm not gonna track him right away, but that's 100% fatally hit deer. The question is he dead now? Is he dead in 5 hours? Is he dead in 12? I will most likely go have dinner with Tracy. It is Thanksgiving, and then come back and give him some time.
We get down, and with that hit, no doubt, I'm not going to pursue beyond. I wanted to see what that arrow looked like, so we had another bit of information.
Boy, that is bright red. Look at that. There is grit in it though, like it's liver. It's nights like these that just make you so excited to be a bow hunter, man. It is so cold out right now. And the night, the low is supposed to be down in the 20s. The wind chill in the morning is supposed to be 9 degrees. So we'll be fine leaving him. I'm gonna go enjoy Thanksgiving dinner with the love of my life, who allows me to do what I do. Come back tomorrow and find that deer. I'm pretty sure it's liver intestine, so we're gonna play it safe. Make sure we find the deer. He should be right there.
Time to go celebrate Thanksgiving. Darren and I will connect back the next morning. I wanted to give this the appropriate amount of time after running it through DeerCast track. We meet back the next morning, and that's when the real hunt started.
Well, good morning. We are at the 15-hour mark, which we thought was appropriate. After looking at the hit, I feel like we went liver, intestine, or square liver. I couldn't really put him quartering away to say where I got lung, so we just gave him the appropriate amount of time. It's 23 degrees, and we're playing it like a liver hit, so we'll see if we can find him.
We look for a while, we find decent blood, but then he's heading north and east, and then we lose blood. And I told Darren, I said, no question about it, I'm gonna call Tracker John, see if he's available. He was, he said he'd be there in 5 hours. This is gonna put us at the 20-hour mark. Tracker John and I both felt confident he'd be dead at 20, certainly, and I felt like he was dead right now. Tracker John comes, they take the same track, and heading north and east on no blood. We're looking, and I mean, the search started right there and literally didn't end for days, weeks, months. And we just could not find this unbelievable deer. You've got the best tracker with the best tracking dogs, and you start to scratch your head, is he still alive? Did he do a big button hook? Which direction did he go? I started talking to the neighbors, letting them know. Tracker John went back to Illinois after tracking some 16 miles looking for the deer. I had permission from some of the neighbors. I stopped hunting because I felt as if 100% he was dead. I stopped hunting on that particular tag, and we just couldn't find it. So I kicked myself even harder about rushing that shot. But deep down, I felt like it was a fatal hit. I also deep down knew we were doing and had done everything we could do to find the deer. We just couldn't find him. Season ends, and we're looking all over the place. You go through January, February, get into shed season. Tracker John came back after the season. He put on an additional 30 plus miles after the season looking for this deer. And then finally to the south and west, total opposite direction of where most of our efforts went. I got a text from Jeff Lidsey, and he said, we found your deer. I want to say thank you to David and Jeff for helping us close the chapter on this beautiful deer. We were so excited to get in there and lay our hands on it. Well, Darren, there he is finally, huh?
Finally.
Wow, the old double drop. Didn't think we'd ever see him again. Many times we hoped, and then you just wonder whether you're ever going to see him, and there he is. Well, here we have a conclusion and closure to the story of the double Droptine, a deer that was mysterious in so many ways all the way up until we finally recovered him. He was probably one of the more elusive deer we've ever hunted in terms of trying to get intel on him, get pictures of him. Finally, on Thanksgiving night, a month after he finally showed up, Darren and I got a shot at him, and that's when the story really began. I made an errant shot and probably a bad decision in the moment of truth, and my shot ended up back and high. And we looked and tracked, and just not a lot of blood. And all total, John traveled some 16 miles that night, myself and Darren, along for the ride. We traveled 6 or 8 miles that night. We continued to look for days on end, hours on end. I can't tell you how many hours we looked for this particular deer. Once I hit this deer, I was 100% confident it was a fatal hit. We just couldn't find him, and I stopped bow hunting last fall. I was confident that was my tag as far as I was concerned, and I think that's the appropriate thing to do. When you make a fatal hit, surrender your tag. The season comes and goes. John spends 2 more days and 2 different trips looking at a variety of different places anywhere that we had permission to go. So John walked an additional, I think total he was 50 miles in the trek. Well, the deer threw us yet another curveball. He had somewhere along the line turned around and went due south a half mile, and luckily David and Jeff on their annual shed hunt found him yesterday. But it just goes to show what pushing some panic buttons, rushing my shot just a little bit, making an errant shot, the time that it cost everybody, and the end result. I mean, we always strive to find the deer. We put as much or more effort into this deer as any deer we've ever looked for, and then here we are finally with closure. So I'm elated to close the circle and to find the deer. That's never the closure you want when it comes to an animal, but I'm happy to be sitting here behind this incredible specimen, this double Droptine. I appreciate Darren and Wade and Perry and everybody that's given so much time and effort trying to find this deer, and a special thanks to Tracker John. A big thank you to great neighbors, David and Jeff Lindsay. They were looking for him too, and they found him on the annual shed hunt, so a huge thank you to those guys. A big thank you to everybody, and a special thanks to the double Droptine, man. The memories are gonna last a lifetime, and now we're able to share them all with you through this particular installment. Unbelievable whitetail. So here it is, some 20 years apart. November the 9th, November the 23rd, another double Droptine. It was so much fun experiencing this with Darren. Again, I apologize for the shot. I try to learn from every instance, whether it's a perfect shot or a bad one, and I'll learn from that one certainly, but we certainly felt good to close the chapter on a beautiful deer. It was a heartbreaker for several months, but at this point we're very happy that we were able to close the chapter on this giant deer that taught us so much about controlling your nerves as well as home range, and just how rare a double Droptine can be.
This episode of DoD TV is brought to you by HHA Sports, leading the industry in single pin technology for the past 14 years. Range, dial, shoot. We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV is brought to you by DeerCast, the most advanced deer movement predictor ever.